The Haven by Dennis Brendan Regan. Once upon a late September, early autumn, as I remember, I was staying in the seaport town of Baltimore. It was very early morning, and I slept so gently snoring at the Hotel Haven up on the 14th floor. It was hours before the morning dawning, long before I planned on yawning, dreaming a dream I've often had before. Suddenly there came a chirping. It was loud and thus usurping the quiet that had been there right before. It woke me up, and without peeking, I just knew it was housekeeping, chirping, chirping, chirping at my door. I don't want housekeeping in here dusting or in here sweeping, and I told them that twice the day before. But they always come around here creeping, infringing on my deep, deep sleeping, ignoring my imploring and the sign outside the door, waking me the way they've woken me so many times before. Housekeeping, I thought for sure. The woman I had spoken to just the day before. The woman from a distant land. The woman named Lenore. But wait, I thought, I hear a chirping. Housekeepers don't make a chirping. They make a tapping, tapping, tapping sound. A tapping sound upon the door. And this was chirping, 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 like I said before. But the chirping seemed to emanate from right outside the door. A vulture, maybe, out there waiting, hoping I was quickly fading, unconvinced by my persuading that it should flee my chamber door. A vulture, surely out there nesting, unconcerned with my protesting, undaunted by my strong suggesting that the bird depart the floor. Now I can hear you out there wailing the thought that surely is prevailing. It's a raven in the hall. But you can stop with all your yelling. I'm the one that's doing the telling. It was me who was at the Haven in the fall. There was no raven out there in the hall, and there's no raven in this tale at all. So now the chirping was unblinking, and the next thing I started thinking was the Grim Reaper is out there in the hall. Now I know you're out there thinking this guy must have been drinking, and I don't appreciate your thinking that at all. I didn't have one stinking drop of alcohol. I really thought it was the Grim Reaper, with his scythe and his timekeeper, here to take this deep, deep sleeper to the black forevermore. A sense of dread consumed my thinking. A dark foreboding sent me sinking into depths of fear I'd never known before. Suddenly I stopped my brooding. Rethinking things had me concluding this was not the Reaper intruding at my door. The chirping was my cell phone. 'Twas my phone and nothing more. The cell phone I had bought myself a couple days before. It cost $800 directly from the store, but with the extended warranty, it was $1,000 or more. I thought for a moment the call was from the plumber, interrupting my sweet, sweet slumber. I had called about a problem the day before. The toilet, running, never stopping, always running, one time even running onto the bathroom floor. But then again, the hotel plumber wouldn't know my cell phone number, and furthermore, now I remember, he had come the day before. I remember he came rapping, cutting short my needed napping, rapping, with his knuckles on my door. I got up and let him enter, my afternoon tormentor. I got up and let him enter just a little after 4. Interrupting my sweet slumber, he came in here with his plunger, dripping something on the floor, dripping water or whatever from the job before. I really truly needed napping after a day of early packing, an extended delay that was energy sapping, and a long bumpy flight that was nerve-wracking. I got back in bed and tried to get some more. And with his tools he started fumbling. I could hear him in there mumbling to himself and even grumbling that he should have gotten off at 4. Should I just quit? He was wondering. He hated his boss and his underling, and he wasn't going to take this anymore. Then he came out and started yapping about the flapper that wasn't flapping, or the clapper that wasn't clapping, and it was slightly overlapping with the valve that needed scrapping. I can't remember. I was napping. He said there'd be no more running, and because of all his cunning, there wouldn't be a problem anymore. And there wasn't, for an hour. But when I went in there for my shower, it was running, just like it was before. But whoever would call before sunrise, I was going to have to chastise. I prepared myself to criticize whoever was making this call. The cursed chirping was unrelenting, getting louder and preventing any chance of my augmenting the little sleep I had gotten before. Sensing it was nearly daybreak, and because I was almost half awake, I realized that this was not a call at all. A call would be a ringing, and a text would be a simple dinging, but this was not what I was hearing from the hall. The chirping was an app called Rise and Shine, an alarm app I had purchased for $1.99. I had set the alarm to wake me. It was set the night before, and I guess I must have set the thing to chirp forevermore. I thought it would sound like a songbird and wake me with a smile, but a more unpleasant tune I haven't heard for quite a while. The chirping would surely melt my brain. I had to find that phone, and fast, or forever go insane. I stumbled out of bed and headed for the door, but halfway there I halted and listened a bit more. The chirping wasn't coming from the door. It was coming from behind me, from where I was before. I stepped back to the bedside and looked around some more, but I did not find my cell phone on the nightstand or the floor, because for some moronic reason I had put it in the drawer. I grabbed my phone and quickly looked at the display, but there was this stupid pop-up thing that wouldn't go away. I pushed the tab, I tried to swipe, but I couldn't find the snooze, and this constant chirping was going to make me blow a fuse. I took the phone and hurled it directly at the wall. It smashed into the thermostat and came back like a rubber ball. It bounced straight back at me, directly at my head. It made a gash above my eye, and on the floor I bled. I quickly found a towel to wrap around my head. I crawled on my hands and knees and climbed back into bed. And in my great despair, I grabbed my cell phone off the floor. I glanced down at the screen. Darkness there, and nothing more. My head was throbbing, and my vision somewhat blurred. But the chirping that was robbing me of sleep could not be heard. The symphony of silence had me sleeping very soon, and I was sleeping well past noon. Not a creature was stirring on the entire floor. No chirping from my cell phone, broken in the drawer. No sign of housekeeping, not a peep from sweet Lenore, and no tapping on my bleeping door. Not a single sound was seeping through my chamber door, except the muffled hum of a distant train moving along the shore. And oh yeah, the running of the toilet like before.